When you once knew you've got to be CEO of Lazada Thailand, what did Mr. Jack Ma told you?
Jack and Daniel, their ask to me is actually very big. They said, we want to build Thailand into a showcase for the rest of the world in terms of digitalization. Actually, a lot of people might not know that Thailand actually is the largest overseas country operation for Alibaba Group. It's not only Lazada, which is the largest overseas local operation of e-commerce. We also have the other Chinese business units. For example, we have Fliggy, our online travel business.
Okay.
In China, every year, there are 11 million Chinese visits to Thailand. Most of them actually use a Fliggy app to book flight, hotel, local services, get coupons, and also Alipay as well. Alipay is the largest payment open loop wallet in China. More than 70% of them actually use Alipay to pay in 7-Eleven, in shopping malls. Thailand, in terms of China overseas tourists, Thailand is actually the largest destination. We built a very solid platform by having the technology, and also we launched Lazada, and we keep improving a lot of fundamentals in the business, right? In the past, everybody's come to Lazada, they come to shop, right? So now we want people come to Lazada, not only shop, but also watch and play. Nowadays, I think beauty and fashion is actually the fastest growing category for us, right? So last year, if I remember correctly, fashion grew about 200%. They come to our app and then they went to the live streaming. They see a lot of KOLs, bloggers, celebrity, brand ambassadors. They put on the makeup, they try the new clothes, and our consumers want to be one of them, want to be like them, and then they purchase some of these goods. Think about all these females. What do they want, right? They start from skincare and then makeup, and then for fashion, from skirt and then t-shirt and shoes and bags. And secondly is historically we're always very strong in electronics. So we have a lot of exclusive partnership with different brands. For example, Apple has its only online shop on us, right? They don't set up online store, official stores in any other platform, only us. It's a trust, it's experience. For example, on Lazada, right, it's a guarantee of 100% genuine products from the brand directly, and it's a very fast delivery. How fast it is? I think during the Apple launch, right, iPhone XR, I think the fastest delivery that we made to our consumer is actually 20 minutes before the store opened. That means they made a purchase on our platform, and then we deliver within 40 minutes, and then the consumer can get it and then brag the iPhone to their friends on Instagram even before it is available in the store.
What is your strength, your competitive advantage for Lazada in Thailand?
I think if you compare this market to, let's say, US and China, where internet is actually very advanced, the consumers are as well educated on internet as the other countries. So for example, in US and in China, social app penetration is roughly 70%. In Thailand, actually, this number is even higher. Think about all these population. Think about your friends, your colleagues. How much time they spend online, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. It's a huge amount of time, right? So in terms of social penetration, this country is one of the highest in the entire world. And then you look at commerce penetration. As I mentioned earlier, we have roughly 20 million or a little bit more user base. But then compared to the social user base, it's still a fraction, maybe 40% or 30% of it. So there's still huge room to grow. But if you look at the US and China, that gap is very, very little. Like in China, for example, right, Alibaba, we have a mobile Taobao app. The active user of that app is more than 50% of the entire China population. So I would say the internet is ready in here, and the consumers are it's already very mobile ready. The only last piece that we need to put into this puzzle is how to convert them and then become an online purchaser. If you look at China, US, the other part of the world, let's say Indonesia, India, so how long is it going to take to close the gap? At the moment, our online commerce penetration is about 2 to 3% of the entire consumption offline, right? How soon can it go to 15% or 20% as the number in China, or 10 to 15% as the number in the US? Some people say it's going to be 5 years, but it could be faster, right?
Sure.
So my experience told me that, I was a consultant before. I also did actually a lot of forecasts by myself. Very interesting is that one thing that I learned over so many years, the internet growth is always faster than the most aggressive forecast. I don't know whether it's going to be 5 years or maybe it's going to be 3 years or 4 years. I think e-commerce market could probably grow by 10 times in this country. So I would say at this stage, right, this market is still very, very early. How many e-commerce apps or websites are there in China? Take a guess.
Any hits for me?
Well, I mean, in China, everybody heard Taobao, right? And then you hear usually a few other players, and then some of the retailers, they will have their own .com. But then imagine all the apps and website which are still functioning, and then consumer can online order, and then there's a delivery to your home.
Sure.
Guess the number. Take any guess.
1 million or something?
That's a little bit too much. So I'm talking about platform, right? So where
the platform, right?
Yeah, how many?
100.
100. Actually, the number is 2,000.
2,000.
Yeah. So
it's too many.
Well, it's just that because all the in the retail industry, right, offline or online, brands or retailers or SMEs, right, they all see that online is the future to go. So there's always going to be different players want to enter this market. And then whoever enter into this, and then they throw in technology, create unique customer experience, different type of value proposition, but then we jointly make this market grow, right? And then we jointly serve our consumer and then give the better experience to them. So I would say actually in this market, we have quite a few players in this place, but I would never worry about competition as it is still very early stage. I actually appreciate all these very serious players. They throw in all the resources and very dedication, and then try to grow this market altogether.
How do you see the difference of customer behavior of Thais among other countries in ASEAN?
I think Thailand consumer, right? If I compare the online readiness in the ASEAN country, I think it's at a similar level of as Singapore consumers, and then it's more advanced than all the other ASEAN countries by far. The penetration rate for both Singapore and Thailand are roughly about 70%, but then the other countries would be much lower. And then online commerce penetration, right? Singapore is roughly 5%, 6%, but we are like 2%, 3%, which means even only compared to Singapore, we need at least a double, right, in the next 1 or 2 years. And then of course the market itself is growing, Singapore and everyone is growing as well. That's why I'm thinking, next 3 to 4 years, maybe 10 times growth.
10 times?
Yeah, this is my personal forecast. It's a little bit more aggressive than Google and the Temasek reports that a lot of retailers and brands take as a reference. Because, based on my experience in consulting firms in Alibaba, right, in the past 10 years around the world, the actual growth always beats the forecast. I mentioned that we actually see ourselves as a digitalization partner to the retailer and the brands. So in the past, how does a brand do marketing and how does it do branding? So usually a lot of offline billboards. They will also, advertise their own products and brands on Facebook, Instagram, so on and so forth. And then they sell their products in department stores, in their own boutique stores, outlets here and there, right? But then all these data, they are disconnected because there's no single platform or a mechanics can consolidate all these data and analyze them and then feed back to the brands and the consumers. So we have marketing solution that we provide to the brands so that the brand and us can co-invest in getting a lot of traffic to the brand store on our platform. And then we also working with the brand on their social advertisement as well. And then even offline advertisement. You gradually will see a lot more, brands in their offline billboards. They will have Lazada, a QR code there. So with this mechanics, it actually tells the brand how effective their offline investment is. And also we digitalize the consumer footprint, right? Because in the past, they would never know like who exactly watched that and how many of those consumers watched that advertisement offline actually got converted. Now we know everything. And also we have the traffic that they brought in from Instagram, Facebook, and then also from our app, right? So since our app is the largest traffic, among all the social platforms.
I see.
So we can actually capture all these digital footprints, and then we help the brand and the retailers to retarget those consumers very accurately.
I see.
So this is an end-to-end digital marketing and sales solution that we are collaborating with all these brands and retailers.
How could you ensure your clients' privacy and cybersecurity when now we're afraid when all informations are digitalized?
I got asked a lot of these questions. So
Sure.
there are a lot of technical details in this. Maybe in short, I just give you one fact and then you will feel relieved. So Alibaba is a US listed company. There's a reason that we chose to list in the US but not Hong Kong or other places. Because US is the most strict in terms of data privacy, IP protection, right? And then we chose to list in the US, and Alibaba Group IPO was still the largest IPO in history. So this actually can give a lot of brand and retailer relief. Thailand actually changed me quite a lot.
Really?
Yes, seriously.
What was your lifestyle before?
I think at the time when I came here, right, because, probably the pace in China usually is a little bit faster, a little
Sure.
bit...
More stressful, right?
Yeah, more stressful, I would say. Because, it's, China market is a bigger market, but more players. As I mentioned, 2,000 e-commerce players, right? And the work pace is generally speaking faster in China. So at the beginning when I was here, I was a little bit, I wouldn't say stressed, but I tend to keep the previous work pattern.
You faced the culture shock or something like that,
No,
or culture gap, or any
not really.
obstacles?
Not really. It's just that at the beginning, right, I feel like myself was a little bit sort of tense. But then the people here, the employees and also the consumers, the brands, there's no culture shock. Never. I would say I'm open.
You're open.
Yeah, I'm open and more relaxed, I want to say.
I see. So you're still happy working here, right?
Yeah, very happy.
Of course.
Very happy.
What is your biggest failure in your work life?
This is also about how Thailand changed me, right? Actually, my personality, I was always kind of aggressive and I always want to do more, that type of personality. And I think I probably worked too much in the past. When I came to Thailand, right, this is a country pretty relaxed and people are friendly. And then it made me start thinking about work-life balance or work-life integration even better. So, and then I gradually realized that I actually missed some of the good moments in the past. So I hope, I can not only try to drive and manage a good business here, but also enjoy life even better in this country.